Politics, it's a word we hear all the time, but what does it really mean? Today we're diving into this concept and its vast implications.
Exactly. Politics influences everything, from the decisions in our local communities to global affairs. It's not just about elections, right?
Totally, it's much broader. It's about power, governance, and how decisions are made for the collective good. I think a lot of people get caught up in the spectacle of elections and forget the deeper mechanisms at play.
Absolutely. For instance, the concept of power. How does power shape political systems?
Well, power is at the core of politics. It's not just about who makes decisions, but how those decisions are enforced. In a democracy, power is supposed to come from the people, right?
Right? But that doesn't mean everyone has equal access to it. Political systems, whether they are democratic or authoritarian, influence how power is distributed. In a democracy, the idea is that we all have a say, but in practice, that can be complicated.
That's a good point. I mean, even within democracies, there's so much disparity in who gets to have their voice heard. Political campaigns, media influence, and money can tip the scale, making it harder for some to participate fully.
Yeah. And that leads to the idea of political representation. In theory, politicians are supposed to represent the people, but how often does that really happen?
I think that's a major issue. Politicians often become more focused on maintaining their own power rather than serving their constituents. And that's where we get into the debate about accountability.
Speaking of accountability, do you think political systems can ever truly be accountable to the people they represent?
It's tough. In theory, accountability is supposed to be a cornerstone of any democratic system, through voting, checks and balances, and public scrutiny. But in practice, there's always room for corruption, which makes true accountability harder to achieve.
I agree. And what about the role of political ideologies? How do these shape the way political systems function?
Political ideologies are crucial. They form the foundation of any political system, whether it's liberalism, conservatism, socialism, or others. These ideologies dictate how resources are distributed, what rights people have, and even how governments should interact with their citizens.
So, ideologies really determine the direction of a country. But are people really aware of how much ideology affects their daily lives?
Most people aren't, I think. A lot of us go through life without deeply questioning the ideologies that shape our governments. But once you start examining them, it's clear how much they influence everything: policies, education, healthcare, even the way we view social issues.
That's interesting. And what about political parties? Do they help or hinder democracy?
Political parties are a double-edged sword. On one hand, they provide a structure for people to organize around shared values, making it easier to understand where candidates stand. On the other hand, parties can create division and oversimplify complex issues.
So, they play a role in organizing, but they can also lead to polarization. Do you think polarization is a bigger problem today than it has been in the past?
Definitely. With the rise of social media and 24-hour news cycles, people are constantly exposed to information that reinforces their existing views. That creates echo chambers and makes it harder to find common ground.
And that's where the concept of compromise comes into play. If everyone is stuck in their ideological bubble, how can they ever agree on anything?
That's the challenge. Compromise used to be seen as a virtue in politics, but now it's often viewed as a weakness. Politicians are less willing to cross party lines, and that leads to gridlock.
Right. And let's not forget how public opinion influences political decisions. Do you think politicians are truly listening to what the public wants?
Some do, but a lot of the time, it's more about what benefits them. Politicians may listen to public opinion when it's convenient, but when it comes to making tough decisions, their own interests often take priority.
It seems like politics is all about balancing personal gain with public service.
Exactly, and that balance is delicate. When politicians lean too much toward personal gain, they risk losing the trust of the public. But when they lean too much toward public service, they might not survive in the highly competitive political landscape.
It's a tricky dance for sure, but I guess that's why politics is so fascinating. It's always evolving.
Absolutely. Political systems and ideologies will continue to evolve. But what's crucial is that we as citizens stay informed and engaged. Politics is never static, and neither should our awareness of it be.
Well said. And that's a great place to leave it for today. Let's keep questioning, keep discussing, and stay engaged.
Definitely. Until next time, folks, keep thinking critically about the world around you.